Distinguished guests, dear friends, thank you for allowing me to address you today. Checking out the list of speakers at this conference, I believe that I am the only ambassador. However, I am not only Poland's ambassador to Italy, I am also, as Mr. Albini said, the daughter of General Władysław Anders, one of Poland's national heroes, who was the commander of the Battle of Monte Cassino and whose Polish forces liberated Italy during World War II. So today, I prefer to address you wearing the hat of General Anders' daughter, rather than an ambassador. My father and his soldiers were great patriots, prepared to die for their country, and there is no doubt that my views are to a great extent governed by my upbringing. Today's conference is entitled National Conservative Conference, but I ask you to look at the subtitle, God, Honor, Country. In Polish, this is Bóg, Honor, Ojczyzna. This was the motto of the Polish forces in World War II and is still present on every patriotic symbol in Poland today. The Poles in Italy and elsewhere fought for freedom, for a free Poland. The war ended in 1945. Europe was liberated, but Poland and other countries in the Eastern Bloc remained under Soviet occupation until 1990. My father, who dreamt and fought for a free Poland, never lived to see it and died in exile in London in 1970. So today, I would like to focus on freedom. I am frequently asked why so many Poles focus and place so much value on history. Well, I believe that we must know history in order to avoid the mistakes of the past. Lack of knowledge is dangerous because it permits our enemies to distort and manipulate history to their own liking and advantage. One must appreciate Poland's history in order to understand Poland's stance on a number of issues today. Much is known about the Holocaust, but information about the Russian invasion of Poland in September 1939 and the subsequent deportation of approximately 1.3 million people to Siberia from Poland is sadly lacking. Today, Poland is free and prospering. Its economy is one of the most stable in Europe. People who visit Poland now are amazed at the transformation from year to year. It has become a modern, innovative country. Polish people, after 40+ years of communist rule, are free. They're free to be patriotic, show pride in their country. Yet, when they march proudly carrying Polish flags, they are frequently accused of being fascists, populists, nationalists in the most derogatory fashion. Of course, there are some extremists, but they exist everywhere. Now that Brexit has become a reality, there are rumors that Polexit will be next. Actually, the majority of Poles today wish to remain in the EU. And let us remember that Brexit was the result of a referendum. The British people opted to get out of the EU. This was not imposed by the British government. Having said that, as it sees the EU becoming even more controlling, which is what the Brits disliked in the first place, Poland is adamant about not wanting to exchange communism for yet another domineering body that will limit their freedom and expect them to live under another set of rules imposed on them. Personally, I like to believe that it's possible, even desirable, for each country in Europe to retain its sovereignty, its culture, its identity, and yet work together as a body. Unless Europe is unified, it cannot compete with the outside forces such as the United States or China. Unification, however, does not mean being stifled by endless bureaucratic regulations that allow more prosperous members to dominate weaker ones. Obviously, laws are necessary, but I say let each country keep its identity, be proud of its heritage, and above all, be free to choose its religion, values, and way of life without being criticized or indeed reprimanded. So let us ask ourselves this question: do we really all need to be grey mice in order to succeed? Would we not perhaps prefer, would it not be more beneficial to learn from one another, and above all, to listen to one another while retaining our sovereignty and national pride? Above all, being tolerant of one another. This, I believe, is what my father, General Anders, would like to see, certainly in Poland, but perhaps also in the European Union today. Thank you.